beautiful and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this video that's going to be this year's makeup predictions. What I think we are going to see in 2022. Like, what kind of makeup products do I think we're going to see? What kind of trends do I think we're going to see? This is all like games and speculation, but it's always fun to come back and just check whether or not we were correct or incorrect. So this video is going to be all about what I think we are going to see in 2022. Let's jump into it. And if you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty makeup. I love everything beauty makeup related. I love playing with it. I love speculating about it, and I especially love colorful things like this look right here. So if you want to see some more makeup on timeline, if you want to see some more color in your timeline, definitely do subscribe because I upload, well, normally 5 times a week, but right now, every day until Christmas. This is gonna be, I think, the 4th year in a row that I'm doing this. I will link the video down below where I'm reacting to last year's predictions, like what I thought we were gonna see in 2021, and you can check back and see whether or not I was correct with that. I am wearing this palette today. Let me show you. Wait, I'm failing. I'm wearing the Hummingbird palette. This is the Oden's Eye and Fancy Face collab. As I'm filming this palette is still in stock. I did film a thing for Instagram. I will leave it down below in case it's live. If it's not live, it should be live, but if it's not live, just check my Instagram. I do upload quite a lot of things there as well, and I will link in the description box the things that I have on my face. But let's jump into my predictions. I want to talk about one prediction that I already talked about in a live that I had, and actually when I asked my best friend, like, what do you think we're gonna see in 2022, she also said this, and I think that this is going to be a trend, and that is, I think we're coming back to thin brows. I know, hold on to your seats, buckle up. I think we're coming back to thin brows. And if you're like me and you like jumping on new trends when it comes to makeup, you'll probably be like, oh, it's another trend for us to try. Or maybe you're the kind of person that's always been rocking like your own style or had your own brows. Some people have very natural, like nicely shaped, like naturally nice, but you understand, like according to the norm brows, or brows that they feel very comfortable with, and they never follow any trends. I will say I'm the kind of person that I like trends. I like jumping on trends. I feel like sometimes people talk down upon trends, like it's like, it's only a trendy thing right now, like why would you want to do that? Just like, I think it's fun with trends, but I'm also the kind of person that loves change. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't love change, I understand why you wouldn't like trends, because trends is all about changing things up. So for me, I just see trends as another way of just changing my routine up. I don't mind going back to thin brows. I do have naturally thin brows. I've always had that, which was very easy for me when the thin brow trend was in, because I literally didn't have to do anything with my brows. I don't pluck my brows. Right now I'm filling them in a bit to make them a bit thicker, because that has been the trend and I've really been enjoying it. But I do think, and I've seen it as well, I do think we're coming into some more, maybe not as thin, like not the Pamela Anderson brow, like let's not go there. But I do think that we're coming into some trends, like to see maybe some years with some thinner brows. It's gonna be exciting to see like the 2022's version of that, because I definitely think that we're gonna have that. One trend that I didn't really see coming when it came to makeup last year was that the Y2K trend was so big with like fashion, and like fashion in social media, especially with like TikTokers and Instagrammers. They were really embracing the Y2K trend, and they even became big on the catwalk. If you're keeping up with like high-end fashion, Blue Marine did something really fun with the Y2K trends, and I really appreciated their take on like taking that back to now. So I do think that if something's gonna be really trendy within like fashion, and I'm thinking more like streetwear fashion, I'm thinking like what people on Instagram are doing, what people on TikTok are doing, and what people are like wearing out and about, I definitely think that a lot of brands, especially more like faster brands like Colourpop, are gonna jump on that. Or like BH Cosmetics also did something more Y2K inspired. Where else did I see it? I know I saw it from other brands as well. Like just jumping on the trends of what's going on in like streetwear or like everyday fashion, what's hip in fashion. I think we're gonna see more interpretations into makeup of trends like that. I honestly don't know if we are letting go of Y2K 100%, because I feel like people are right now just embracing it a bit more. I'm never going to be ready for low-rise jeans and butterflies. I will say though, I'm really happy that like rhinestones are coming back. I'm not sad about that. I feel like rhinestones are having a moment right now, and I'm kind of living for it. I enjoy it. One trend that we have seen a lot, like in 2020 and 2021, has been that there's been a boom of new brands. Literally, there's been like a new brand every week almost, and it's been crazy. Like, there's been so many new brands, but there've also been less brands. So we've seen some brands disappear. Becca disappeared. We've also seen some other brands, like I can't even think about any right now at the top of my tongue. Like Coastal Scents disappeared. There are brands that have disappeared, and I would not be surprised if we saw more brands disappear. Tati Beauty closed down, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more influencer brands close down. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more bigger mainstream brands close down. I also would not be surprised if some brands just, you know, ghost us. Like, they disappear and we don't think about it. Like, Coastal Scents closing down, it wasn't that, like, they just sent out a mail and they were done. Not even a closing sale or anything. So I think we're gonna see all kinds of brands disappearing from the scenes. I don't necessarily think that it has to do with a brand going bankrupt. It could also be about maybe not making as much money as they want, maybe wanting to like focus and do something else instead. Maybe it's owned by a parenting company, like Becca was owned by, is it Estee Lauder, and they just took their favorite products and gave them to another brand instead, like Smashbox. I think there are different ways that this could go. So yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see if there's any more brands closing down in 2021. I would not be surprised if there was a couple, if I'm gonna be. This is just my guess. It's not even a stab in the dark. I really think that there are more brands that are gonna disappear, and like I said, not necessarily because they're going bankrupt. There could be so many different reasons. I also have seen a trend lately that I've really been enjoying for a really long time. It seemed like brands were totally unable to release something unless they were releasing a big huge collection. Like, they couldn't just release one thing. It had to be one thing with 2 blushes and 3 highlighters and 5 different lip colors and 2 different finishes and some brushes and some stickers and a mirror. Like, it was a lot. That was a thing for several years, and a thing that I've seen this past year that I've actually, like, I thought about it and I was like, huh, this is actually something that's been a thing, and that is that brands are releasing either smaller collections or just the one thing that they want to release. It doesn't have to be a full collection. Just release a bronzer, just release the new blush formula, just release the new lip formula, just release a new palette. Like, it doesn't have to be this big collection. It doesn't have to be that big. And I've also seen some brands, they're releasing a palette and like 3 new colors in the lipstick to go with it. Like, it doesn't have to be that big of a full circus. Something can have a moment on its own without having the company of like an entire range. And I do think that we are going to see more of that. Brands just releasing either very small collections or just the thing that they wanted to release. Because sometimes I feel like the collections that have been released, you can tell, like, you can smell it, you can almost taste it in the air, that they are releasing things just for the sake of releasing it, just to say that it's a collection. But it's so obvious that they only really put effort into the one thing. I said last year that I thought that last year was going to be like this year, depending on what you see, that I thought that 2021 was going to be the year of multichromes within like mainstream, and I haven't really seen that. I will talk about this, and you've already seen that video. In the video where I am discussing what I thought was going to happen for 2021, I do discuss what brands have actually embraced multichromes, like for example Oden's Eye did put some multichromes in some palettes. They put multichromes, this one is a multichrome, they put multichromes in 3 different palettes, and I think that that is so fun. And I honestly thought that 2020 was going to be that year, but it could have been due to we are still in a pandemic. The world is still a little bit upside down. Maybe brands don't want to take chances or like invest a lot of money into new formulas. But I honestly think that multichromes is gonna be the new pressed glitter, and I mean that in the most caring, loving way ever. I think that it seems like brands have cracked the code. How can you get these kind of formulas into a palette without breaking the bank? It seems like at least some brands, like for example this one, this wasn't really that much more expensive, if even more expensive than their palettes that doesn't have a multichrome in it. And that's the thing, you can just put one multichrome in a palette and it's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be a full palette of multichromes. And I really think that 2022 is going to be a year when we see more brands dabble with multichromes, and I still think that we are going to see brands that try to do the full palettes of Multichromes or full palettes, you know, those really expensive ones. I mean, then some Nyqvist did it on Sephora, it did sell out, but like how many more palettes like that can we have until people are like, I'm not paying $150 for a palette full of special shades. I think that it's smarter the way that Pat McGrath has done it. Just put one shade in a palette, make it a special thing, and I do think that we're going to see more of that in 2022. I would actually be super surprised if we did not see more of that in 2022. I wrote, are we done with Disney, question mark. Are we done with Disney? Here's the thing. 2020 and 2021 has truly been the year of collabs, and I think that collabs with like entities or franchises that wasn't known for makeup, aka Disney or hot sauce or rock bands or whatever we're doing collabs with, I think that that had such a success in 2020, which made all brands' ears perk up for 2021, and everyone was releasing it. Everyone was releasing it, and I don't think that it sold as good as they were hoping, because I feel like there was this surprise element, the surprise element of the Child palette, the surprise element of Candyland palette. That surprise element is gone now. Nobody bats an eye at any kind of collab. Any kind of collab. Nothing surprised me anymore. Makeup Revolution's doing a collab with Charlie Chaplin. I'm not surprised. Hip Dot is moving on from hot sauce and now they're doing a collab with Birdseas. I'm not surprised. Colourpop's doing a collab with a wallpaper company. Again, not surprised. I bet I'm even giving these brands ideas at this point, and that's the reason why I think that I don't think that brands are planning as many, or they might be, because sometimes, you know, contracts are written and stuff are being planned. Stuff that's being released now in the beginning of 2022 has most of the time been in the works for more than a year for most brands. So things that you're seeing released now, you might think like, oh, why are they still doing collabs with Disney? Why are they still doing collabs with this? Why are they still doing this? It's because they're not keeping up with the trends. They're not that fast. So I do think we're still going to be able to see a lot of really strange, weird, and unexpected collabs. But I do think that 2021 is going to be the year where it trickles out a little bit, because it was crazy in 2021 and it also wasn't selling out the way it did in 2020. I've seen a lot of these collabs on sale. So yeah, I don't know. Because there was a lot of really unexpected collab. I wrote Makeup Revolution, Matrix, Bobbi Brown, Monopoly, Colourpop and basketball teams, like I don't know. There's a lot of brands also that right now are only known for collabs. Like Makeup Revolution at this point is like a collab brand. They're only doing collabs. That's the only releases that they do that people are like talking about. And Hip Dot, like when did they release something that wasn't a collab? Like I don't even know what that would have been. So yeah, it just surprised me a little bit. I also wrote MLM time, question mark. I don't know if you saw the video that I did about L'Occitane starting to open up a branch with direct selling. Still not 100% sure how they are sorting this, if they are still doing the funnel shaped opportunity thing, or if they are doing it more as a direct selling thing. But when you sign up, it does say who's your sponsor, so that is a big red flag. And I'm wondering, like, is this going to be the route for other companies as well that are looking, because MLMs have been doing, unfortunately, really good during the panoramic. Maybe they've been wanting to find something that could be an extra income, maybe they lost their job, maybe they have to work from home, and it's so easy to get sucked into things like this, especially if you're stressed and you need to find another income. So unfortunately, MLMs have been doing really good during this pomegranate, and it's just honestly a bit saddening, because in my humble opinion, the customers of MLMs are the consultants. And I think that there are brands like L'Occitane that looked at this and they're like, maybe this is how we can make more money, because apparently due to some comments that I got on this channel, it hasn't been a secret that L'Occitane has not been doing that fantastic in the States. And maybe there are more brands like that that are like, how are we gonna stay afloat? And maybe they also will look into this geometrically shaped business model and think that that is something for them. That is going to be something to keep an eye open for. And I feel like we need to keep ourselves informed, and we also need to keep brands accountable to call them out if anyone else is trying something like this. Because personally, when brands move into that territory, they are no longer for me. At least that's how I feel. The next thing that I had as a trend that I think is going to be something that we are going to see more of, that we have seen a lot of in 2020, but also in 2021, is brands are releasing things that they have never done before. And I'm not saying a brand coming out mascara for the first time. I'm saying coming out with a totally different branch of things. Colourpop released their first scented candle this year, and they just, as I'm filming this, just announced that the scented candle is now available to buy like separately, because before you could only buy it as together in a set for the Hocus Pocus collection of 2021. The candle is amazing. It's so good. I've already burned through mine. I got scented SPR. It is incredible. Very high quality candle. It really did fill this room and the room outside with a scent even hours after I like blew it out. I've already gone through it. It is really, really good. I could definitely see myself buying more candles from Colourpop, and I can definitely see them coming into doing that as well. Makeup Revolution also started doing candles, although a lot of people were confronting them, saying that their candles look suspiciously a lot like Jackie Aina's Forever Mood, which is a company that I'm very much looking forward to be purchasing from once I'm on the other side of the pond. Also, Colourpop's sister brand Soul Body started doing bath things like bath bombs and like melt bars for the bath, and I also think that those have been popular enough that they might start doing even more things like bath care things. I also wrote that Bondi Sands, which is a self-tanning company, just recently released a full line of skincare, totally different. Also Juvia's Skin, totally different. It's even on a different website. Too Faced has released both skincare, and they're also releasing a perfume. They've sneak peeked the perfume, and I also wrote Fenty Skin and perfume as well. So there's been a lot of brands that have released, and if you can think of any other, please let me know down below. This was just me brainstorming as I was writing this. If you can think of any other, let me know. And I don't think that this is the end of it. I think a lot of brands are going to come up with a skincare range. I know Dose of Colors did that as well. And I think a lot of brands are probably going to venture out and try other things. Candles, bath products, perfumes, maybe even accessories. I know Colourpop has done some accessories as well. It would not surprise me at all, to be honest, to see brands do more things like this. I could even see like, for example, like Laura Lee had Laura Lee Los Angeles, and then she released Nudie Patootie, which is her like fashion boutique. I can also see influencers doing that, like they have like their thing that they was known for, but then they have something else, a passion that they're releasing a brand within. Jackie Aina like immediately went into candles, but I would not be surprised if other brands have like project like this, that they will release something that's totally different from what they are known for. So I would not be surprised if 2022 we saw even more brands release things that are a totally different kind of product, and maybe not necessarily something that they were known for before. Let me know, what do you think we're gonna see in 2022? Let me know your thoughts, let me know your feelings, let me know your predictions. Do you think I'm gonna be right? Do you think I'm gonna be wrong? I would love to hear about it. And of course, I will come back at the end of next year, which is crazy, but I will come back and I will let you know whether or not I was correct or not. And if you see any of these things happening throughout the year, please do tag me so that I can have a peek at them. I love seeing some of my predictions come to life, and I also love seeing that sometimes I'm incredibly wrong and just something totally different happens and I'm like, did not see that coming. But that's the fun thing about trends, because things can always change, and all of a sudden a celebrity becomes incredibly like famous and they're doing something special with their makeup, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to do that. That has happened before. So yeah, it's always so interesting to see where trends are taking us, because we can be thinking that we're going in one direction and all of a sudden something happens and we're like, yes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow for a new video, because like I said, trying to upload every day until Christmas. Bye!